Now, Peterborough Charity is asking knitters to help them create blankets to keep children with disabilities warm this winter. A new report from Peterborough City Council says people there are arguably facing the most challenging time since World War II. Michelle King is the CEO of Little Miracles, works with families with children with disabilities and additional needs. Michelle, good morning.
Morning, Dottie.
Just explain what the ask is for this.
So we're asking knitters to make squares of around 30 centimetre squares, to be knitted, crocheted, so that we've got a team of guys this end that are happy to then put the blankets together. If anyone is feeling particularly overly excited, they can make a whole blanket. Essentially, though, we always give out heaters. Every year for the last 10 years, we've given out heaters. This year, we've not been asked for any heaters. We're being asked for blankets because people can't afford to run the heaters. If you've got a disabled child, they're less likely to be able to regulate their temperature, more likely to have seizures, get infections. So we're just trying to keep as many children as possible warm. So if any families also need blankets, also get in contact with us.
What kind of response have you had, Michelle, since you put out the plea?
It's been amazing, and I'm really, really grateful for everyone who's got in contact and said, yep, they're going to knit a square for us. But the response for families needing blankets has been even higher, so we're definitely nowhere near where we need to be.
It's so lovely to hear that so many people are happy to help. It's something people say, don't they, in difficult times, look for the helpers, because that's where the hope is. But it feels quite desperate that you're having to ask for blankets because people can't afford to plug in the electric heaters. How does it make you feel, that situation you're finding yourselves in as a charity?
It's awful. The families are coming to us with more and more complex needs, and it's things like they're worried about their life support turning off in the middle of the night if they're on prepayment meters. It's scary situations and scary times out there. I know a lot of people think, oh, they're just trying to knit a square, but it's a bit of a gimmick. I wish it was a gimmick. We've got families in really dire situations, and no one should have to be thinking about, is their gas and electric going to turn off, and is that going to mean my child's life support's going to go off overnight?
We can have a word with Sam as well, Michelle, who I know that you know, because it's Sam's wee boy who models a beautiful knitted blanket in the poster that you produced for this knitting campaign. Morning, Sam.
Hi, good morning. Hello.
Tell me a little bit about your son's situation. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you. So my son is 10 years old. When he was born, they sort of said to me, look, we think there's something wrong with your son, which is, I mean, for all the mums and parents out there, is just devastating. It turned out he had a chromosomal abnormality, which presented itself as severe epilepsy. So he has drug-resistant epilepsy. He was having a seizure every 10 minutes. He can't walk or talk, eat or drink normally. And so he is under hospice care. So he goes to hospital for operations, and he has an injection every day. But then for his long-term care, he's under hospice care. So,
how important is it to keep him warm, to keep him comfortable?
It's just ridiculous to think that, in 2022 we're even having this conversation. But I have to keep him warm. I mean, if you think these children like him, they're double incontinent. So although they wear pads, you have to keep washing their clothes. I know Michelle's son needs a T-shirt change every 15 to 20 minutes. So you can imagine the amount of washing that we have accumulating. So you've got the washing machine, tumble dryer on constantly. He has to keep warm. He has drug-resistant epilepsy. As I said, emergency medications don't work on him. So in order for me to keep him out of hospital, I need to just, keep him comfortable at home. And when looking at the cost of a hospital stay, at the cost of me just being able to keep him at home with the heating on, it just seems crazy that we're being put in this situation where you can't afford, the basics of life, like just heating.
Is that the situation that you're finding yourself in at the moment, struggling to just balance the books?
Like everyone else, yes. I mean, I think it's just the way that it's just completely jumped up. It's a shock of it just jumping up, and especially at this time of year, because of course we're all like, you shouldn't be in a position where you're thinking to put the heat on. But yeah, it's just crazy. I can't understand how we got to this position in 2022. I know Michelle would happily speak for the sort of families that they deal with. I mean, they're supporting 15,000 children across Cambridgeshire.
So it's also things like the life support and keeping that on that is really tricky. So my little boy's got suction pumps, SATS monitor, feed pumps, and everything. They add up. It's not cheap to be able to keep those running every day, and it's not about being able to increase benefits, although that would be an increase to disability benefits would make a massive difference. It's things like if there was a social tariff that meant that families could claim back the money that they're spending on their electric for their life support, well, that would make a massive difference and not at a cost to government. There's so many ways that could help families, but in the meantime, we're doing blankets and trying to keep these kiddies warm. It's with Sam's little boy, if he gets chilly or if he gets too hot, he has a seizure. So it's really down to making sure that his temperature is constant and that he's warm. It's just an extra thing for families to juggle that they shouldn't have to.
Well, Michelle, I know that we have so many people listening to this show who do knit or who do crochet or who do craft, and I expect lots of them would really want to help. So just repeat again exactly what you're after and lay out how people can get the knitted squares to you at Little Miracles.
So it's squares of around 30 centimetres squared. They will definitely help. My joiners will definitely be grateful if they're 30 centimetres squared and if they've got straight edges. And then if you wanted to contact us via the website, it's littlemiraclescharity.org.uk. That's probably the best way to find us.
Okay. Michelle, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. I've seen that the good folks at the Butterfly Legacy Project, one of these groups set up during the pandemic to make scrubs, but they take on all sorts of campaigning challenges and crafting challenges more recently. They've stepped up and they're going to see if they can get some knitted squares your way. So that should be a great help. But yeah, the call is out there. And if you're not online and you can't get to the Little Miracles website yourself, please call us and we can give you the address. We can give you the address where you need to send your knitted squares over the phone. We can read it out nice and slowly so that you've got your pen and your paper in hand, etc., etc. Call us for free from the vast majority of phones on 08000 85 95 96. 08000 85 95 96. That was Michelle King, CEO of Little Miracles, and Sam, one of the families that the charity helps.